They're wiring me. If I mess up, they electrocute me.
That's what it is.
Can you all hear?
Yes.
Morning indeed has broken. And welcome. I want to say, before I forget, thank you to the organizers of this affair, of this gathering. It's been great. As a former organizer, I know how hard it is to get everything to work. Thank you. I think the first thing we should do, and I'm coming from somebody that lives near St. Louis, and we're in Central Daylight Time, and it's just after 7 o'clock at home.
Yes.
And I think we need to wake up, so, or I know I need to wake up. So does anybody here know the hokey pokey? I'm not kidding. Anybody know that?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you know it.
Expect us to stand up?
Okay, come on up here. I can't do the motions and play it at the same time. Somebody up here lead us.
He was just doing it.
Can you do the hook?
I can.
Come on up here.
Okay. All right.
You want your cane with you?
I'm all right.
Okay, you sure?
Okay.
All right, Nancy's gonna lead you, and I don't know what body part she's gonna do first.
The right hand. The right hand.
Okay, so everybody stand up. Stand up. All right, little introduction. You gotta sing. You gotta do what Nancy does.
Oh, no. Oh, I never did it.
Are you ready?
Ready. Put your right hand in. You put your right hand out. Put your right hand in and shake it all around. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. And that's what it's all about. Put your left hand in. You put your left hand out. You put your left hand in and you shake it all around. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. And that's what it's all about. Put your right foot in, right foot out. You put your right foot in and you shake it all about.
Use the
You
mic.
do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. And that's what it's all about. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out. You put your left foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. We can stop there. Okay.
One more.
You put your whole self, you put your whole self, you put your whole self, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
All right, thank you, Nancy.
Boyd salad, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's okay. Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear the instrument?
Yeah.
Yes. Like this.
Okay, that's too bad. Just kidding. My name is Mardy Eisloeffel. I grew up and I live in just outside of Belleville, Illinois, which is 14 miles southeast of the St. Louis Arch. And I drove here, and I haven't played this thing since Tuesday. I hope this goes well. I intended to do this presentation 2 years ago when I was organizing the gathering, and I was going to have like 10 accordions on display, one of them all taken apart so you could see everything, and it was going to be great. And then I caught COVID and couldn't even go to the gathering. So that was all for naught. And here, I only had room for 2 accordions in a Honda Accord and luggage for 3 people, so we're packed. So I have 2 accordions here, and this is Amadeus's. I had him bring that here. And you're going to get a chance to come look at them closer up a little bit later, maybe. For my presentation on the accordion, and by the way, a lot of you know probably more about it than I do. I'm intimidated. But I'm going to go ahead with this because I've been going to Reed Organ Society gatherings since 2015, I believe that's right. Was that Independence?
Yes, yes.
And in that time, nobody really talked much about accordions. And I thought this was a grave omission. So I'm going to do it today, whether you like it or not. But, and I stole my notes from Wikipedia, and I edited them, and I changed them around a little bit. But if you don't quite understand something, or you didn't hear something right, just go to Wikipedia. It's all from there. Well, most of it's from there. And if you have any questions at any time, stand up and wave your hands and shout or something, because I want questions, because I don't know what I'm going to do for a whole hour otherwise. So anyway, I made a short video, and these are all stolen off the internet too. It's like, why reinvent the wheel? So that is a picture of what I play. That's what's called a piano accordion, for obvious reasons. It's got a piano keyboard on the right-hand side, and by the way, you can always tell these people, the graphic arts people that publish photos of accordions upside down. They don't know that, but the piano keyboard is always on the right-hand side, and the bass has 120 buttons on a full size. Some of them have more. There are some that have 140. They're not that common. The full-size one like this is an almost full, well, actually the keyboard and everything is full-size. This one has 3 sets of reeds, or 3 ranks of reeds in the treble, which, and a full-size one, which is this one, which I'll play in a minute, that has 4 sets of reeds. And I have seen a time or two, I've seen 5 sets of reeds, but those things are monsters and you can't hardly lift them up. But that is a full-size piano accordion. Next. The accordion it's got an identity crisis. There are so many different kinds of accordions. This is what they call a chromatic accordion. The Russians call it a bayan, B-A-Y-A-N. It has buttons on the right-hand side. The full-size ones have 5 rows of buttons. It's more difficult to learn how to play, but once you got it down, it's way easier to play because the fingering is exactly the same in every key. You just move your hand position. And I've seen these guys playing, they can just really rip it. So that is a chromatic or bayan. And there are different systems. There's a C system and a B system, and I bought one of these at the local flea market for like $50 20 years ago, thinking that I might learn how to play that. Well, it hasn't happened yet. Sorry. Next.
One interesting part of the accordion is that you can play it without any breaks.
Say that again.
You can play it without any breaks. Basically, even if you move it back and forth, there is still no any silent moment.
Oh, mine don't work that way. Mine, if you change the direction of the bellows, it stops. And they do that on purpose. Sometimes they do what they call bellow shakes, which is it's a special effect. Yes,
When
sir.
someone asks a question, you might repeat it so everybody can hear it.
Okay, I didn't quite understand it myself. So.
Well, I think you said that they don't quit when you switch.
Yeah, he asked if now there are electronic accordions, MIDI accordions, And some of them are self-contained with batteries and speakers and no reeds. Roland is one of the makers. I think there's Concerto is another company. And they are electronic, they have no reeds. They have some kind of transducer hooked up to the bellows, and they emulate what an acoustic accordion would do. And I guess what you're saying would be true for one of those. You could change directions, or you don't even have to pump it, and it plays. But acoustic accordions have bellows in the middle, and they go in and out, and if you change directions, it stops playing. My teacher, I started taking lessons when I was 6, and that was a long time ago. And that was a cardinal rule, that you don't change directions in the middle of a note like. You don't do that. Yes, sir.
Marty, my understanding, and this may not be correct, is that there's actually double the set of reeds, because there's a set for in and a set for out. Is that correct?
That is correct. There is a set of reeds for in and a set for out. They don't use the same reed for both directions. I guess it's violating the laws of physics. So, and I was going to get to that, but that's a good point. Piano accordions have 2 reeds for every note in every rank. So that I'm going out, maybe you can't see that. I'm going out. That is 1 reed. I'm going in. It's a different reed. It's supposed to sound exactly the same. If it doesn't, there's something wrong. Good point. Now, now that you mentioned that, I'll bring it up. There are other accordions. I don't think this is one of them. This is a smaller button accordion. Go to the next one. There are accordions that you get different sounds, different notes when you change the bell, kind of like a harmonic.
The one you had is an example.
I'm sorry?
The one you just changed is a diatonic.
Okay, good. That one, you get different sounds, different, and that's what it would sound like, changing with the same note or the same key. And I don't know how those people can play those, but they do. And if you watch them play like Cajun accordion, that's what they're playing, and they change directions of the bellows just all the time just to get the right note. It's crazy to me, but they can do it. Okay, next, this is that your accordion on the disc? I'm pretty close. Okay, that is, they call those concertinas. And there are different systems for concertinas too. There are, oh goodness, there are so many different kinds of those. But those are buttons on both sides, and some of them you have to make your own chords. I didn't even talk about the chords. On a piano accordion and on the chromatic and on the bayon, they call it an accordion, I guess, because they have 1-button chords. So on the left hand, we have, on a full size, we have 120 buttons. We have 6 rows of 6 buttons going from front to back, and then it's 20 buttons all the way up and down, and they do start to repeat if you go far enough. It's a matter of convenience. So let's see if I can do this. There we go. So it is somewhat redundant. So you have 6 rows from outer to inner. The first 2 rows are single tones. This is on what they call a stradella bass, which my friends in the Accordion Teachers Guild, they say that's a genius designed that, and I guess so. But while I was taking lessons, I thought it was horrible for a while until I figured it out. So you got the first 2 rows are single tones, and I can play 1 chromatic scale on that. can do that when I'm awake. And then for each tone, you have your choice of 4 chords. That's a C fundamental, this is C major, which is an inverted C major. Let me see here. Then you have an inverted C minor, a C7th, and then a diminished, but they've left out part of it. I don't know why. So you have your choice of 4 chords for every fundamental tone. And then, let's see, the next thing you need to know is that this is arranged in the fifth. So it's C, G, G, A, E, and so forth. And it just keeps going like that. And it's very convenient if you're playing Western style music. Let me see here. And so on. It's very convenient. You notice I didn't have to go very far. And if you're playing polkas, you know. Didn't have to go very far. Now if you're playing a song like Lover, anybody know that song, Lover? It's got a descending chromatic bass line. It's, I can't say that word, it's Hades. Because, and on a piano it's easy, or an organ, but on an accordion, watch what I have to do, and I'm gonna make mistakes here. But, whoops. See, too early in the morning. That's my excuse. Did you see what I had to do? And I really messed up. But it's, anything chromatic is a long way to go. But most things are easy. And that's a Stradella bass. Now they make free bass accordions, and there are several different systems of free bass accordions. They turn off the chords and they give you single tones, and you can play like 3 octaves in the left hand if you know how to do it. I have a Palmer converter free bass accordion. In fact, I have a couple of them. And I tried to learn how to play them when I was like 16. And I sort of got there, but the fingering is way different in every key on that system, so I don't recommend it. There are other systems that are supposed to be easier, and I've never had one of those instruments. But you can play, you know, Vivaldi and classical things with Bach 2-part inventions and whatever. You can do that on those free basses. I cannot. I can do it for a little while, let's see. And so on. But I only had 1 octave to work with, so that's kind of a limit. Let's see, next picture. Are you having fun yet? Yeah. Okay. That's another chromatic. I don't know, I put too many pictures of those in there. Go to the next one. Okay, that's one of those push, I think they call them push-pulls. You get different note in and out.
Nope.
No? Okay, you know. I'm so glad you're here to set us straight.
The Russian garmoshka is a diatonic at the same note.
Same note in and out.
No, yes.
Okay.
It only plays in key of A.
I don't have any experience with those, obviously. Embarrassing myself. Go up, next one. I'm just going to ask him what that's. Okay, I want to show you a little bit about how they work. The, this is an accordion with the grill removed, with this part removed. And there are rods, some of them have one rod, some of them have two. The rod goes straight through here and it pivots. When you push this down, it opens the pallet, which is this. And that pallet, ooh, oh my, can you hear me? Yeah. The pallet covers up 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 holes, which allow the air to get to the reed. So this one's probably, well, there's the holes. 4 holes here. And then they have 2 rows, so there's 4 holes there, 4 holes here. And when you push the key down, it raises the pallet. And that's how the right hand works, and I don't have any, well, I do have pictures of the left hand. Next one. That's another picture. And that particular instrument has 3 sets of reeds instead of 4. But it's the same deal. The pivot point is over here somewhere. And it opens up and shows, or it opens up so the air can get to the reeds. Next one. Okay, there's another angle which you can kind of see how it works. This little business here is covering up the rods. The rods go into a hole here. They go all the way to the other end. And here are the pallets. And they lift up to open up the holes to let the air go. Does everybody see that? Next. I like your zoom. That's very cool. These are the reeds. Nelson had a whole drawer full of these yesterday. And what you're looking at here, let's see, that is the reed. And of course, there are different sizes for the different tones. And there are 2 of them on here, one of them facing this way and one of them on the other side. So if you flip this over, it looks identical. It's supposed to look identical. There are little leather valves to keep the air from going the wrong way, depending on which way you're pulling. So this is a bass reed, and you can tell it's bigger, and it's got, I guess it's lead, a weight on the end of it, which helps to bring it to the desired pitch. Next one. More reeds. You can see the little leather, this thing's trying to open up on me. You can see the little leather valves here, which, one-way valves. Next. Wow, I think I got enough pictures of reeds. These are little gadgets to hold the leather down, to keep them close to the surface of the reed block, so that and in old accordions, this one's an old accordion, and sometimes the leather reed or the leather valve gets dry and old and curls up, and you get weird things that happen before they close. And this one does it sometimes. I probably can't get it to do it for you now. If you're playing it and the valve doesn't close, it's not the same pitch. It's just weird. And you can hear it a little bit. Next one. There's a man that's getting ready to tune a reed. He's got a little thin strip of metal underneath there, and he's going to scrape that reed. And it's the same thing that organs have, except that it's steel, some kind of steel, it's not brass. And to make it go flat, they scrape toward the base, and to make it go sharp, they remove metal from the tip. And he's getting ready to do that with they have a special, very hard scraper to do that, to tune them. Next. This is the inside of right here. The keyboard is on the other side. This is a whole, one piece of wood holds, I guess you'd call it a reed block. The reeds are mounted on this thing vertically. Well, we're looking right down at it. And this is horizontal. This is an instrument like that one over there that has what they call a chamber, a tone chamber, which is unusual. The tone chamber, I'll demonstrate it in a minute. The tone chamber alters the tone, makes it more mellow, and it's more expensive to make. And I was lucky enough to buy this one secondhand at an antique mall. Go figure. And it's got a tone chamber for 2 of the 4 ranks. But yeah, that's for the tone chamber. This is like most of them. Next. How am I doing back there?
Again,
Yes, sir.
to store the accordion, you should set it on its bottom so that the valves, the flaps, always. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Unless it's tone chamber. Unless that has the chamber, then you're supposed to store it like that. That's what I read. But yeah, to store it, you store it like this. And if you don't, did I lose it? I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble again.
Oh, wrong cover.
I don't know what to tell you to do. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
My apologies.
Where was I? Oh, storing it. Storing it. Yeah, on an ordinary accordion like this one, they tell you to store them like this, and gravity is not going to try to pull those valves open and curl the leather on them. On this one here, it's got a tone chamber, so it's got the 2 different angles there, and that's not going to help. So they say store it like this. Go figure. Okay, I put that picture on there because now I want to talk about the shifts. The shifts are what accordions have instead of stops. And I will demonstrate. Stop. And what shifts do is you get the different combinations. And since accordions have a maximum number of 4 ranks, you can get pretty much every combination with a shift. So this one here has 3 sets of reeds. It's got, I'm going to call it an 8-foot and 2 4-foot for you organ people out there. So here is the lower reed. Okay, here's the higher, octave higher. And I selected it with these 2 shifts. Now if I want both of those together, I push this one. Now this one has another trick. This one has got what most accordions call musette, which is the 2 4-foot reeds that are tuned slightly out.
Nope,
It's not 4 foot?
nope,
8?
and it's not 2 reeds. You said it's 3 reeds, tremolo is 2 reeds. It's usually the middle set, the 8th.
Well, I was always told the middle 2, you know, say, okay, here's the middle, here's 1, and here's 2. But they're not in tune. And you can hear it going up and down. That one's a little farther out. And I was told that that was called musette. Now, they do have some accordions that have 3 middle reeds that are not in tune, and those, that's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there aren't that many of those around.
In France, there's a lot of French.
Oh, well, France. France. Yes.
We're in Vermont.
I had one of those. It had 4 sets of reed. One of them was the bassoon, they call it, which is, and the other 3 of them were only played together, and you get this. Well, this has the wet sound, they call it, wet. At least the people I know call it wet, and dry would be if it was in unison. How am I doing there? So, where was I? Oh. On this particular instrument, which I bought secondhand, I bought them both secondhand. This one, it calls it Celeste of all things. So it borrows from the organ terminology. But anyway, that's, the shifts are what you use to select what combination of reeds that you want. And this one has, you can get, oh, I didn't play master. Master turns them all on. So you're getting this, you're getting that, and then you're getting that, and you're getting all of them together. Next one. Okay, that is what the inside of the instrument looks like if you take all the reed blocks out. This part here, it's metal, aluminum plate that's got the holes in it, and this red part you're looking at is leather. They use that to seal, to make an airtight seal. So,
How easy is it to disassemble?
it's pretty easy.
Is it?
Yeah, you can do it in like 10
How
minutes.
about put together?
Yeah, you can disassemble it, you can run over with a car and do it in about half a second. So, next one. Let's see, what is that? That is the base mechanism inside here. If I take this door off, it boggles your mind. It's nothing but levers and wires, and it's a Rube Goldberg affair. It's very complicated. That's the mechanism that lets you do the 1-button chords. Next one. Next one. I have a couple of those to show you, and they don't all, the different manufacturers do that in different ways. They're not all the same. There's a different one. There's some buttons up there. You got these strips of metal, and then they've got pins. The pins push down rods that open up the pallets. If you have a problem with this, it's trouble. Go ahead. And there's a partially disassembled base mechanism to show you some of the pieces. There's the buttons on the rods. These are some of the little wires that are attached to the pallets that open and shut. And that all, it's complicated. I guess you could call it an analog computer. Mechanical analog computer. I don't know what else to call it, but it's...
And the bass, you have 2 different sets of reeds in the bass.
Oh, I didn't get to that, yeah. I have the same thing here, over here. And the thing is, if I'm playing just a single reed over here, I'm going to show you this on the other instrument. It'll make it a little bit easier to understand. This one's a full size, although I have seen a few that were a little bigger. This one has 4 sets of reeds in the treble, and it's got these shifts in the bass. And to answer your question, which was what these do the same thing that these do. And the reason we have those is you need to, if you're playing, you don't want to overpower one hand or the other. You want a balance. So this one has 3 sets of reeds. Let's see. That's okay. This is what they call a piccolo. This is, I guess, 2 foot. It goes way up there. I know the dogs start howling sometimes. So that's your top one. This is your middle. This is the lowest. And you can get all the combinations. Now, if you want to play something like, what's the name of that song? The Whistler and His Dog. You know that one? Okay, you don't want to turn on all your bass reeds because you won't hear the whistler. It's not balanced. So what you do is you turn off some of your lower bass reeds and you play instead of you play. Let's see here. Or you play. So. By the same token, you don't want to turn off all your reeds and leave this, because then you won't hear the bass. So it's the same, it's a matter of balance. You can't hear that, so I'll turn them on, and that's about right. So yes, I do have different combinations here, which are controlled by the switches. This is all of them. So you can balance your treble and your bass by judicious use of these shifts. Make sense?
Yeah.
What do we got? Are we done? That was it. Good. What time is it? Wow.
You have 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got a little time.
Play something.
Play something.
I have a question.
Okay.
How does one begin to play the accordion that's never done it?
How does one begin to play it? It helps if you're 6. I'm not making this up. It does help if you're 6 because what you're doing, 3 totally different things, and they have to be done in synchronization, and you have to, yeah, it's, have you all seen that Far Side cartoon? Shows the St. Peter at the pearly gates, and he says, "Welcome to heaven, here's your harp." Then there's the bottom part, "Welcome to hell, here is your accordion.
To answer that question, you want to find what is called a 12 bass accordion. They're much smaller and start with just the 12 bass buttons. You'll have about 4 or 5 keys, and get the Alfred book, which is still published for accordion, book 1 and book 2, but you're probably better off renting one rather than trying to buy one, because you're going to run out of the 12 bass accordion by the second book. And that's where the teachers then used to sell you a $3,000 accordion as fast as you could, because now you need it. The rest of the accordion.
Oops, sorry.
That gentleman is exactly right, and that's what happened to me when I was 6. My folks actually bought the 12 bass. I still have it. It was a Hohner, made in Germany before World War II. And it's loud. It's like these organs, these little teeny organs in there, louder than that guy. But in getting back to the 3-ring circus, you're doing 3 really different things. You've got this going on. This system over here is totally different. And then you have to get the bellows just right, or it doesn't work. So it helps if you're a little kid, you got more, I don't know, they say that after you grow up, you lose some of your brain cells as you're maturing. So, and I've seen that happen. Yes, sir.
In asking about how to play the accordion, tell them about the one indented button, which helps you find it with your finger, and the arrangement of notes from around that.
Right. I can't see this button board at all unless I've got a mirror, which probably wouldn't help because it's reversed. So I have to feel, and this is C. This is my middle C, and of course it's definitely in the middle of the keyboard. This one has a little rhinestone, something. Some of them have a little indentation, some of them have a little crosshatch pattern, but you've got to be able to tell where you are. This is home base. Some of them have E up here also marked, and some of them have A flat marked also. This one does not. I don't think the red one does.
That one does, the Excelsior.
Yours does?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, they want me to play something. Let me demonstrate I'm going to call it musette. That's what I was always told it is, but the true musette has 3 reeds. This one only has 2. So sue me.
What are the saxophone-looking valves there? On the right side, those round.
The portholes. That's kind of a gimmick. The gentleman asked what these are. Can you all see this?
Yeah.
All it does is kind of mute the sound a little bit. It makes it more mellow. It has minimal effect on it. You tell me what you think. You know, this is closed, and that's open.
A little, not much.
Not a whole lot of difference. If I'm playing for a big group or outside, I open it up. If I'm just practicing myself, I leave it closed. It doesn't matter a whole lot. I'm going to play you a little, one of my favorite numbers called, what is it called? I've got a block. I hate that when that happens in public. It's
you can play it and we can guess.
Theme from Moulin Rouge, which, there was a later movie, but this is from 1950 something. So, one of my favorite songs is not very long. Thank you. There's a whole genre. There's a whole genre of music in France called musette. Right? I hope. I've been told. Anyway, and it's the kind of stuff they play if you're in Paris and you go to an outdoor cafe and they'll have a strolling accordion player and they'll come around and they'll play stuff like. So that's kind, and this one here is really good for that kind of genre, that kind of music. You can also play polkas. Oh, and by the way, I named my accordions. I didn't do that when I only had one or two, but now that I've got about 20.
They do accumulate, don't they?
They don't all play, but I got a few. And that one is, no, that one, where is it? This one. Did you name your accordion yet?
No.
You gotta do that. This one is Bruce. Because the accordion, the case of an accordion is made out of the wood. I mean, they've got this plastic over the top of wood, basically. And so I named him Bruce because he's made out of spruce. And this one I bought secondhand, answered a newspaper ad, and I bought this from an old man who, it used to belong to his nephew who lost interest years ago. So I bought this from him, and I had this for a week, and I was like, what can I name this? What should I call his accordion? And I have my mother's piano in the living room, and on that piano happened to be sheet music to a song called Ruby.
Oh, well, yeah.
God is speaking to me. Sometimes it takes me a while to hear. So this is Ruby. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because I'm getting close to the end. I didn't think it would take this long.
Marty, I have a question.
Yes.
Do I understand correctly that new accordions are still being built?
They are. It's not exactly a growth industry. And it hasn't been since about 1960. When I was a kid, I was born in 50. So I taken lessons in 56, and I took them for about 10 years. And in that 10 years, the accordion just went completely, which is unfortunate. But you know, Elvis Presley and the Beatles and rock and roll and guitar took over. And it's like, you know, if I had a guitar of this instrument could be 70 years old. I don't know for sure. If I had a guitar of this quality and of this vintage, it would be like 50 grand, you know? But an accordion, I'll give you $5.
Aren't new ones rather expensive?
They are very expensive because there's about 1 million parts. Well, you know what these are like. Multiply that. Everything in here is pretty similar to that, except very compact and also very precise. I mean, the tolerances are very tight because everything's so small, and it's got to be light. It can't be, you know, 500 pounds.
Okay, put that in.
So, anyway, this one here has 4 sets of reeds. Here's the lower set. They call that bassoon. That would be the same range, I guess. And then clarinet. And then piccolo. So those were the exact same keys, but the different ranks. And then this one has double reeds like that one does, like that one does, but they're not detuned, and it's not musette, it's not whatever you want to call it. It's unison, and I use it for classical and liturgical and church music. It's more appropriate. So that's a single middle, and this is double. Not a whole lot of difference, but some difference. Let's see. That's double. That's single. And you can get all combinations. You get the lower two, they call bandoneon. That's what Astora Piazzolla plays, a bandoneon. This is the lowest and the highest together. They call that organ. This is harmonium. I don't know who dreams these up. This is all three together. And then this is master, which turns on the double middle one. So you get 4 reeds together. And it's yeah, hallelujah. And it will play louder. You want to hear loud?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I don't usually play it that loud. Okay. You want to hear me play one more?
Yes, please.
I was going to tell you all about the history. The accordion was invented somewhere around 1829 in Germany, and we don't know if it was Buschmann or if it was Damien, but Damien has the first patent, I think, on record, and it wasn't anything like this. It was just a little teeny thing with a few reeds in it. That's enough history. The accordion was kind of like these things, not that one, more like the parlor organ. You could put it in a covered wagon and go west over the rocks and the bumps, and it would hold up, and it didn't need to be tuned all the time, and you could take it anywhere. And the sailors played the concertinas. I think the sailors were known for taking them on the ships. You could go anywhere with them. So anyhow, I'm going to play one piece, and I hope I don't embarrass myself, because this is something I really like the music of Richard Wagner. I know he was kind of a scoundrel, but I like his music. And so many years ago, I won't say how many because I don't remember, but I decided to try to make a transcription of a piece from a Wagner opera, of all things. And Hitler is probably rolling in his grave, because Hitler did not like the accordion. He considered it a fit only for the bassists of bar rooms. And he didn't like it when people played classic or tried to play classical music on an accordion, which is another good reason for me to hate Hitler. So I decided to make my own transcription of the March from Tannhäuser by Richard Wagner. And I can barely play this under the best of circumstances. I'm trying to get all of the voices in there, as many as I can. I've only got 10 fingers. But, and I think maybe I overreached. But I'm going to try to play this for you because I love it, and I hope I make it. And we need balance here.